Hey everyone, Anthony Venuto here with InTouch Mortgage Solutions. It's Friday, Finance Fridays, and thank you for clicking. On this episode, we're going to be talking about if now is the right time to buy or sell your home, depending on your situation. We'll talk about that and more. Stay tuned. If you're watching this video on the Team Sessa YouTube real estate channel, once again, thank you for clicking and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch our videos. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button down below, that notification bell, so you can get notified every time we post a new video. And if you have a question or comment, leave them in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you want to book a free consultation with myself or Santo to talk about your financing needs, you can do that down there as well. But right now, back to the video. For many Canadians who are looking to purchase a new home or move up in an existing home, whether you be a first-time home buyer or in a seller in this market, it can be very challenging, especially with all the uncertainty surrounding what is happening not only here in Canada, but across the globe. And obviously, a lot of Canadians are starting to come to realization that interest rates are going to be elevated for a little bit longer than anticipated. Now, a lot of Canadians may or may not be entering the markets for the same reasons. So I know there's a lot of conversations about now being the right time to buy or the right time to sell. Obviously, it depends on your personal situation. We had a client reach out to us last week, and the client was an existing client where we had completed a pre-approval for them back in February, securitizing a very excellent rate for 120 days. As April rolled around, we hadn't heard from the client. We reached out basically saying, hey, look, your rate is about to expire. The client had said we were previously looking, going through multiple offers, nothing finalized, and then all the situation changed, and we decided to put our purchasing decision on hold. Excellent, amazing, that's no problem. Just let us know when you're ready to basically move forward. Client said, yeah, right now we're fine. We're renting here up north, and payments are really good. Everything's fine. Perfect, excellent. We got a phone call last week from these same clients, and not basically because they want to go out and purchase now that they see homes that they were looking at a significant discount, but more because their employer had reached out to them saying both you and the wife, who worked for two separate employers within the same company or different divisions, were requiring their employees to start progressively returning back to work full time. And obviously, when the clients had made the relocation for the north, that was something that they weren't told. Anyway, long story short, clients are basically looking at the future of having to make this commute an hour and a half in perfect condition, or basically, with weather and traffic, potentially more than that with two kids. Client said, look, we're not going to look at that. Let's see if we can look at some options. First option was that they spoke to the realtor about was actually finding out what rent was be like closer to their employers in a central location. And obviously the rents were extremely expensive, more than they had originally anticipated, and literally double what they were paying for their current rent further north. And the clients were like, this is astronomical. And not only that, is the list price for the rent was what they were basically asking for, but they were being even bid up. So clients were overpaying on the rent. And these clients are like, there's no relief, because when we were going out there purchasing was multiple offers on buying. And now that there's no multiple offers on the buy side, now there's multiple offers on the renting side. And they were just sort of like, okay, we can't really win here. So the clients had looked to us for some advice. I said, guys, let's look at some options. Obviously, this is the rent area. Obviously your family, your safety, your decision to make this move is first and foremost. Renting is your option number one. If we can present you with the options to purchase and look at those numbers and see if they make any sense, right? Let the numbers do the talking for the clients. And we literally, as I said, don't put any pressure on them. Whether people believe in renting or owning, it's entirely up to you. We just look and say, if you're going to spend this amount of money here, let's look at the flip side and say, how much would it cost you to own? And obviously it was a little bit more expensive for them to own the home, but not much more than it was. I think it was around $350 to $400 per month without the utilities, right? And basically the clients looked at the options because they had previously been approved in February and they were able to purchase for $900,000. Now, obviously with the current environment, rates, contract rate qualification, because now obviously the rates are higher, which means we have to qualify the client at the contract rate plus 2%, whether it be fixed or variable. The client basically looked and said, we previously could not buy at 900. We could buy at 900, I should say. Now we can't buy for 900. Now we're closer to the 780 mark. And now that the clients were looking at that price point, we said, look, you have 20% of the 780, which is great, not a problem. But just because we give you the 780 doesn't mean you have to spend the 780. Right now is definitely a buyer's market, and the clients were able to go out there and look at some comparable units, and they were able to spend $80,000 or less. They were able to secure a offer on a property. And in the meantime, right now, we're just waiting on some of the documentation. The appraisal came back for these particular clients. So now we're just waiting on the status certificate. The clients have this time. They have this beautiful time to make that decision. They didn't have to rush into it as they did just a few short months ago. And the clients are basically in the process of securitizing this home that they bought for $700. Now, they could have found something better that checked off more boxes at $780. But what we said to the clients was, obviously it's the same pretty much square footage blueprint. Maybe the condition of the home in a condo isn't exactly the same, but in this current environment with their positions and understanding, hey, what is the likelihood of you losing your job? What is the position of your income, gas, fuel? Because, obviously you're saving some money here, but you're spending it there. Do you really want to basically put all your eggs in this one basket? You have 20%. You're still putting 20%, but instead of putting 20% of 780, you're only putting 20% of 700. Leaves you a little bit of a slush fund. You have kids, commuting, gas, insurance, all these other things that we ran through the budget with them. We also looked at the possibilities for future rate increases, right? So this is an important part. If you're looking out there to buy or sell, is it the right time? Even though you're qualified, is understanding, what's going to happen in 2 years or 5 years or, 10 years, if we want to look out that far. But I looked at the clients and said, look, you're taking a 2-year product. Obviously, in 2 years, we don't know where rates are. This is something that you should anticipate. So start budgeting. Potentially rates can be more expensive. They can be less, but you need to be prepared for that. If the client was choosing a variable rate option, we were obviously expressing to them that, hey, prime is here. September and November are 2 further rate announcements. You do need to be aware of that. We don't know where the Bank of Canada is going. Obviously, they surprised many Canadians just in July with 1%. So we don't know exactly where they're going, but you should be budgeting at least a 75 to 1% increase and keeping that money aside to help you with your financial needs and goals. So basically looking at the transparency, not only do we cover the payment details and the possibilities of where rates can go and start budgeting, but we also explain to the clients, hey, just because the appraisal came in at 700, there could be some further road ahead where that particular place may start to come down a little bit in value. And if you're comfortable with that, because obviously where you are with your employer and you need to be here and you're not paying rent, are you comfortable with that? And the clients both were very understanding of that and they were okay with it, right? So that's what we're sort of talking about. Obviously they were qualified. So changing their expectations. The clients had previously wanted a townhouse and now they ended up settling for a stacked town condo instead of a fully freehold townhouse. So this is how we sort of basically look at the clients, change their expectations and understand where they are in the current market. Now, obviously, if you have questions, if you find yourself in a scenario very similar to this, or you have questions about purchasing or selling and if it's the right time based on your finances and your situation, reach out to us here at InTouch Mortgage Solutions. We'll be more than happy to help you go over some of that information. And don't forget, if you appreciate the video or you found it very helpful or know someone that could benefit from this content, please don't forget to hit the share, like, and subscribe button and that notification bell so that you can get notified every time we post these types of videos. Now we'll leave the video here, wishing everyone a great Friday and an even better weekend ahead. Until next week, thanks for clicking and stay tuned.